Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So I am so excited to finally be doing a fall makeup tutorial for y'all. And this is a video that has been very highly requested on my channel, and it's actually a look that I did a few videos back that I got several comments asking for a tutorial on it. So here it is. This is going to be my neutral fall makeup tutorial, something that's very wearable. You could wear this during the day, you could wear it to a night out, and it's something that would complement everyone. I'm talking all skin tones, I'm talking all different eye colors. This will look good on anybody. So all of the eyeshadows that I use today are from the Tartelette palette, but I did want to let you guys know that these are all very neutral matte browns. So these are all shadows that I'm sure you can find from other brands, and you can really recreate this eyeshadow look even though you don't have this specific palette at home. I do really like this Tartelette palette. I find that these eyeshadows work well for me. I like the color selection, and they're very pigmented, but I did want to say that these aren't the most blendable eyeshadows out there. I would probably prefer to recreate this eyeshadow look using Makeup Geek eyeshadows or Makeup Forever or MAC, somebody else preferably, but it was requested that I did a Tarte tutorial, and I figured that this is a great color selection for the fall time, so this is what we're doing. So my eye makeup is featuring a warm, chocolatey kind of smoky eye using all matte eyeshadows. And all the shadows that I use today are from the Tarte Tarlette eyeshadow palette. I've gotten a ton of compliments every time I've worn this makeup look. I think it's perfect for fall time, and I hope you guys enjoy it as well. So if you guys want to learn how to recreate this makeup look, then keep on watching. Okay, so I'm going to start off prepping my skin, and I'm going to be using a primer and a lip balm. My skin has been so dry lately with this fall weather, I guess, or just my skin in general. I don't know what's going on, but my skin's been freaking out. So the primer that I'm using is super hydrating, and I'm going to focus it in my nose area and like my T-zone. I know most people that's like the oily parts of their skin, but that's my like driest part. And I'm like full on like eczema patching right now, so I'm just gonna work that into my skin. And this is the Hourglass primer. It's the number 28 primer serum. This stuff's amazing, you guys. It's probably gonna be an upcoming favorites video because it just makes my skin feel so rejuvenated, and it really helps my makeup apply better on top of any like dry patches. It's awesome. And this is just the lip butter from Chorus. It's in the shade Guava, but it's just like a clear lip balm, as you can see. This is super hydrating. It feels really good on the lips, and it's perfect for underneath liquid lipsticks. Okay, and I'm going to be using the IT Cosmetics Full Coverage CC Cream today. And I know this is just like a little sample size, but I've been loving it, so it's what I'm going to use. So I don't know what's wrong with me, but when this product first came out, I heard so many positive things about it here on YouTube. Everyone was like, it's amazing, it's full coverage, it's a CC cream, it's lightweight. And I was like, no, like I don't need that. Like I don't like CC creams. And now I have this sample and I'm in love with it. So I'm just squeezing it out onto the skin and buffing it in. And I probably got a little too much product, to be honest, but that's okay. I like full coverage, so we're gonna go with it. And I'm just using a flat top kabuki foundation brush. This one is just one that I got off of Amazon, but they have so many different kinds from Sedona Lace, Sigma, Sephora. You can really find brushes like this anywhere, but mine's from Amazon. Really not doing anything too super special with this. What's nice about using a CC cream opposed to like a full-fledged foundation is that it's a lot easier to blend into the skin and a lot easier to work with. And with it being fall season and with my skin being so extremely dry, this is like the perfect product for me because it gives me a dewy, luminous finish, but it hydrates my skin. And it still gives me a lot of coverage, so I really like it. I'm just going through and making sure that I have this blended onto my ears. I want to get it blended into my hairline. When you self-tan your body and not your face, you really want to make sure you get that blended nicely into the hairline because people are going to be able to tell that your scalp is a completely different color than the rest of your body. So I am celebrating that wonderful time of month right now, so I'm going to be concealing a couple of blemishes, and for that I'm going to be using the Boing Concealer from Benefit Cosmetics, and this one is in the shade number 2, and I'm just going to go in with my finger and just pick up some of the product, and I'm just going to pat that over the blemishes. I really like this concealer if you have like something intense that you need to cover, such as a blemish or any sort of scarring or maybe even like hyperpigmentation or something like that. But this is not my favorite for underneath the eyes, so I will be using a different concealer for that. The concealer I'm gonna be using underneath my eyes is my MAC Pro Concealer, and this one is in the shade NC15, and I'm just going to take a little pump, and I'm just gonna take a little pump about this size, and I'm going to run that underneath my eyes. So first, I just like to place the concealer where I like it, right underneath my eyes with my finger. And I'm not super precise with this because I'm gonna go blend it out later, but I am using a shade that's quite a bit lighter than my skin tone because I wanna use it to highlight as well. And then I'll just take the extras down the center of my face. And I'm going in with a damp beauty blender sponge, and mine is really, really dirty, so please ignore that. And I'm going to blend this concealer out. And I'm just using these buffing motions. This concealer blends out super easily and it gives really good coverage. And the reason why I love this concealer so much is it's so long wearing and it never creases on me. I really like to set my concealer just to make sure it stays in place. It's not gonna crease, it's not gonna move. And the one I'm gonna be using today is the Loose Makeup Forever, the HD setting powder. And this is just a little guy, like a little tiny one, but this comes in like a full size as well. And I'm just gonna dump a little bit of the loose setting powder into the lid. And the reason why I look up to the ceiling is it kind of stretches open that under eye area, so you can get all the powder into those creases and underneath the eye, and then you're setting it without the crease there, so it'll prevent it from creasing throughout the day. And this may seem like a lot of setting powder, and it kind of is, but since it's so finely milled and it's sheer, so it's not actually going to apply any coverage, it's not gonna make you cakey. And I just set the areas on my skin that I have concealer because I don't want to set my whole face because I don't want it to be matte and I'm really dry, but I do want to just give it some longevity and I wanted to prevent it from creasing. And then the brush I used for that is the Sephora Pro brush. It's the contouring brush number 79. Okay, so moving on to eyes, I'm gonna prime with my Urban Decay Primer Potion. And this is just the original primer potion, and I'm just gonna take a little bit of the product on my ring finger and I'm just going to blend it in. And a little bit of this goes a long, long way, but please remember to prime your eyelids. I've said this a million times to my clients and just in general. I think that priming your eyes is so, so important. And I basically don't feel like there's any need to do your makeup if you're not going to prime your lids, because it's just gonna crease, it's gonna look bad, it's not gonna blend, and it's not gonna last. So prime your lids. I'm just gonna take the brush I used earlier to set my face and just set my lids because it just helps the primer to set properly. And I'm gonna take Force of Nature and I'm going to apply this all over my lid. And I'm just gonna use pressing and patting motions to help build up the intensity of the shadow. And I'm using a large flat shader brush, and this is from Sedona Lace. And I'm gonna keep this color focused below my crease, but I'm not being super precise or super careful with it because we are gonna go in and blend everything out. But just keep this color focused underneath the crease and all over the lid. Okay, now that I'm done packing on color, I'm gonna switch my brush from this direction to this direction, and I'm going to use it to kind of buff out the edges of the shadow so it's a little bit less intense. Next, I'm going in with the shade Wanderer, and I'm starting on the outer corner of my eyelid, and I'm bringing that shade into my crease, just along the edges of everywhere that we applied Force of Nature. And this is using a Morphe brush. And I'm just keeping this color really concentrated in this crease section here. I don't want to take it up too high, and I don't want to take it down too low. So just follow that natural curve that your eye has here and really deepen that up. Okay, now that I've got this darker crease, especially on the outer corner here, I'm going to start deepening up this outer corner. And it's looking a little messy through here, but that's totally fine because we're gonna go in and clean it up at the end. So I'm gonna go in with a darker brown shade, and this one is called Dreamer. And I'm going to start patting this shade right in this outer corner here. And I'm really gonna focus on creating this shape. I want it to connect down here at this end of the lash line and just stay focused right on this outer corner. So just make sure you're using little pressing and patting motions, and then just stop. Don't go too far, don't take it too intense, just deepen it up and then blend it out. Now I'm gonna go in with a clean blending brush, and I'm going to start to blend out this outer corner. And this technique is called dry brushing. And what you're doing is you're using a clean brush to blend out product that is already on the skin. And now to further intensify the outer corner, I'm gonna be taking Multitasker, and I'm using a really small lip brush with this and intensifying the very, very outer corner. And then once again, I'm gonna go in with my clean blending brush and just soften the edges of this little V shape we created. And it really, really helps with your blending if you choke back on your brush all the way to the back. See how my hand's all the way down here? That's going to help create these little tiny motions that will blend your product out, versus when you're like this, it's gonna be too tricky to really give that blended look. So try holding back on your brushes. Alrighty, now I'm gonna start cleaning up the top of the brow bone here. I'm gonna go in with Free Spirit, and I'm using a little e.l.f. brush for this. And with this shadow, I'm just completely cleaning up this upper brow bone. I really like to do highlighting afterwards because I think it helps kind of sculpt out and clean up that area. A lot of people like to do it first. It's kind of just a preference thing, but I feel like once you go in with that lighter shade to blend, it looks a lot cleaner than it did before. And then I'm taking Free Spirit and also applying it to my inner corners. Now for underneath the eyes, I'm going in with Force of Nature, which was the first shadow that we used. And I'm just completely defining the entire lower lash area. And that's gonna help the colors to all kind of connect together. And it's also going to create some more warmth in this look. And I'm using a little Morphe brush. And then just to furthermore intensify the look a little bit more, I'm gonna add Dreamer to the outer corner. And it's just gonna be like the outer quarter. So we've got like the whole, and then we've got half, and then we have like the outer fourth. So we just kind of keep applying more and more color, focusing the darkest colors on the very outside corners. Okay, so now that I'm done with the shadow, I'm just gonna go through one last time with a clean blending brush and just really make sure everything's super blended out. And I'm even gonna run this underneath as well. Now for my brows, I am using the NYX Brow Gel, and I'm using that on a Sedona lace brush. And I'm just going to carve out and define my brows. For the fall time, I like pretty intense brows. I'm a pretty intense brow girl all year long, but with more dramatic eyes like this, I do like to kind of thicken and intensify the brows a little more. Now for eyeliner, I'm going in with the Rimmel Scandal Eyes Nude Liner for my lower eyeliner. And I really like using nude liner underneath the eyes because it really helps to brighten everything up. And I get a ton of questions on what eyeliner I use for this, so I will make sure I have that information for you guys. And then for top liner, I'm just using the Kat Von D Trooper. And I did a pretty thick liner, but I just really like thick eyeliner for the fall time, and I think it looks really good with false lashes. Okay, so I just added some false lashes and I went through and redefined my eyeliner because usually after I apply falsies, I feel the need to go back through and like perfect that line again. So I am wearing the Salon Perfect Perfectly Natural lashes, and these are number 53. And then I just used the Revlon lash adhesive. This is the Precision Dark Lash Adhesive. Okay, so now on to the rest of the face. I'm gonna go in with the Too Faced Chocolate Soleil Bronzer, and this one is just the original chocolate. And I'm going to warm up my skin using the Sephora Pro Bronzer Brush. And this one is number 48. And I'm gonna start on the outside of my cheekbones and kind of work that onto the cheeks. And this is just gonna add some warmth to the skin. It is gonna give more definition just because of placement, because I'm adding this right along that cheekbone there, but I'm not really like sculpting out my face. I'm just kind of adding some color. I absolutely love these bronzers. I think they're the easiest to blend out, and I think they give the most natural color. And then I'm gonna take it up onto my temples. I really like to bronze the perimeter of my skin and just make sure you get right up in that hairline so you don't have that like halo bronzer thing going on that people do when they don't like blend their bronzer all the way. You can see where it's applied. So just make sure you kind of blend it out. And a rule of thumb is to kind of remember whenever you're doing anything to your skin as far as like makeup goes, you want to make sure if you do it to one spot of the skin, you've got to do it somewhere else. And then for blush, I'm going to go in with a Tarte Amazonian Clay blush. And this one is in the shade Celebrated. And I'm just going to take this Sedona Lace brush and I'm going to add it to my cheeks. And this is a pretty natural looking color. It builds up to be pretty pink if you want it to, but it's fairly natural. It's not super bold, and that's kind of what I'm going for because I do have a pretty dark eye going on and I'm doing a pretty bold lip. So I just want something to add some color to the skin, especially for fall time, because I like having a little bit more of that like rosy glow to the cheeks, almost like I've been outside where it's cold. So it's just gonna kind of complement the bronzer and give you a little bit of color. And then for highlighter, I'm going to be using the MAC Limited Edition Oh Darling. I love this shade, and I think it's like the most gorgeous like golden glow. I love this highlighter, and I think it just gives the most beautiful golden glow. But there's a lot of gold highlighters out there, so if you don't have this one or if you didn't get your hands on it, I'm sure you can find some other golden highlighter that will work just as beautifully. And then because I am dry, I do like to add a little bit to the nose and the Cupid's bow. And now that all my face products are on, I'm gonna go in with the Pro Airbrush number 55 from Sephora. And again, we're just gonna dry brush our entire face. And this is just really going through and blending really softly. The same way you do with your eyes, it's good to make sure everything's really seamless on your skin as well. And then for lips, I'm going to be wearing the ColourPop Ultra Matte Lip. And this one is in the shade Bad Habit. And this is a really matte liquid lipstick. And then I'm going to go in with a NYX lip liner in the shade Prune. And I'm just going to use this to define a little bit more. Alright, you guys, so that's it for this makeup tutorial. I hope you guys enjoy the look. It was highly requested, so I hope I satisfied your need. And I think that this is a really on-trend look for fall. We've got a lot of the matte effect going on. There's the matte eyes that are very chocolatey and warm from Tartelette, with a really thick liner with some fluffy lashes, which is a very big fall trend. And then I paired it with the matte sort of burgundy berry lip, which is really pretty for the fall season. So I think this is a great look for the fall time. I've been wearing it a ton, and now you guys can too. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. If you have any questions or comments, definitely leave them down below and I will get back to you. I'll have more detailed photos and a lot more information about what products I used for this tutorial, including products, including brushes. All the breakdown will be on my website, so I will put that link down below as well. And if you guys haven't subscribed already, then definitely do. That means the world to me, and I will see y'all in a later video. Bye guys.